Before we begin, take a moment to breathe. If you find depth and light in these words, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because together we're building a place where wisdom and wonder meet, where souls remember their origin. The story you are about to hear is not about time, nor about creation. It is about that which watches them both unfold. Ibn Arabi, the great master of Andalusia, once said in Futuhat al-Makkiyya, "The world is a thought in the mind of the real, and we are the mirrors through which he contemplates himself." What does it mean to be beyond time and creation? To Ibn Arabi, time is not a river moving forward. It is a mirror reflecting the motion of consciousness itself. There is no past or future. There is only the eternal moment, the now where God reveals himself anew every instant. Modern physics, though it speaks in a different tongue, whispers the same secret. In the equations of Einstein and the strange certainty of quantum fields, time bends, stretches, dissolves, showing us that it is not an independent thing, but a perception tied to awareness. If the universe had a beginning, it was not in time, it was the birth of time itself. And before that, there was no before, only the infinite, silently watching itself. Ibn Arabi calls this the Hadra al-Ilahiyya, the divine presence. In this presence, being does not come from somewhere, nor does it go anywhere. It simply is. The mystic sees the cosmos as breath, nafas ar-Rahman, the breath of the Merciful. Each exhalation gives birth to a world, and each inhalation returns it to silence. The physicist might call this the expansion and contraction of the universe, the cosmic rhythm of energy and vacuum. But Ibn Arabi would smile and say, "You are watching the heartbeat of God. When we gaze upon the stars, we see light that has traveled for billions of years, yet that light enters our eyes now. In this now, all ages meet. The past is memory, the future is imagination. Both are faces of the same eternal reality." In Fusus al-Hikam, Ibn Arabi writes, "The real does not repeat himself in any two moments. Every instant is a new creation. Tajdid al-Khalq fil anfus, creation renewed with each breath." This is not poetry. It is metaphysical precision. Reality is being generated, moment by moment, by the awareness that witnesses it. Think of quantum mechanics, how the observer and the observed are intertwined. The particle does not exist in one place until it is seen. The act of observation collapses probability into presence. Ibn Arabi's metaphysics tells us why. Because consciousness is the canvas of the universe. Without the witness, there is no world. The universe is not out there. It is arising through you. So what does it mean to go beyond time and creation? It means to awaken to that level of your being that was never born and will never die. That which sees change without being changed. That which is still when galaxies spin and hearts beat. When you know this, truly know it, not with the intellect, but with the soul, you cross the veil of illusion. You no longer see God as distant, nor yourself as separate. You realize what Ibn Arabi meant when he wrote, "The servant is the Lord and the Lord is the servant, yet neither is the other." This is the paradox of unity, Wadat al-Wujud, the oneness of being. In today's language, science calls it the unified field, a single energy underlying all phenomena. What the mystic calls God, the physicist calls the fundamental field. Both are naming the same infinite presence from different sides of the mirror. Ibn Arabi's vision completes the equation. Energy, matter, consciousness, all are manifestations of one boundless being playing through form. To see that is to awaken from the dream of separation. The purpose of creation, he reminds us, is marifa, to know. God said, "I was a hidden treasure, and I love to be known. So I created the world." You are that knowing, the awareness through which the infinite sees its own face. In you, the whole universe becomes conscious of itself. So when you ask, what lies beyond time and creation? Ibn Arabi would answer, you, not the you of name or form, but the real you, the silent witness, the living mirror of the divine. If this truth touches you, remember, it is not new. It is older than time. Every breath you take, every thought that arises, is a doorway back to that infinite stillness where time never began. and never ends. Because you are never outside it. You are the pulse within eternity itself. Time is not a river moving forward. It is the ocean that stands still while waves of perception rise and fall upon its surface. Ibn Arabi reminds us that what we call time is nothing more than the unfolding of divine imagination within the mirror of awareness. The past and the future are not places we travel through. They are reflections of one infinite moment, the eternal now. Every breath you take is not following the one before it. It is being created anew in the same timeless instant where all realities meet. In the heart of the mystic, time does not pass, it reveals. It is the theater in which the eternal manifests his face through the illusion of sequence physics. 2. Begins to whisper the same secret. Einstein showed that time bends, that it is not absolute but woven into space, flexible like light itself. Modern physics sees moments as coordinates in a vast field where everything already exists. To the physicist, there is no before or after, only different angles of observation within the same continuum. Ibn Arabi, centuries before, said the same with the language of the soul. There is no repetition in the divine self-disclosure. Each instant is a new act of creation, unique and complete. When the veil of perception drops, we realize that what we call change is simply the eternal gazing upon himself from another side. When you remember this, time loses its authority over you. You no longer chase moments as though they are fleeing from you. You begin to see that everything you long for already exists in this very breath, for there is no other moment in which it could be. The mystic does not live in time. Time lives within the mystic. The seeker who awakens to this truth begins to taste the fragrance of freedom, for the burden of yesterday and the anxiety of tomorrow dissolve in the radiance of presence. To live in the now is to live in the divine heartbeat itself, where each pulse of awareness births worlds unseen. Imagine standing at the edge of existence, where creation begins and ends in the same silent breath. In that place, clocks lose meaning, stars do not move, and your heartbeat becomes the rhythm of the cosmos. The present moment is not a fragment between two infinities. It is infinity itself disguised as a fleeting second. Ibn Arabi calls this the secret of waqt, the sacred moment, where the servant meets the Lord face to face without distance or delay. The universe is not moving through time, it is the unfolding of God's eternal thought, shimmering in endless renewal. What we experience as memory and anticipation ripples in the boundless ocean of the now, where all times are one, and all beings are but waves of the same undying light. You said, creation is not a frozen sculpture placed in time, it is a living breath, an endless exhalation of the divine into the vastness of being. Ibn Arabi calls this mystery nafs-e-ar-Rahman, the breath of the Merciful, the rhythm through which all worlds come into existence and dissolve back into the silence of the One. In every heartbeat of reality, God breathes himself out as creation and draws himself in as annihilation. Each inhalation is concealment, each exhalation is manifestation. The cosmos expands and contracts within this sacred respiration, and we, unaware, are carried in its rise and fall like particles floating within a divine sigh. This is not poetry to him. It is metaphysics in motion, the unseen pulse behind every heartbeat, every birth, every death. Modern science, in its own language, has begun to echo this truth. The universe, they say, began with a single breath, the Big Bang, an expansion of unimaginable intensity. But what Ibn Arabi unveils is deeper, that this expansion was not a singular event, but an ongoing act of mercy. Every moment is a new creation, every instant a continuation of that first divine exhalation, and one day, just as effortlessly, the breath will return, not as an end, but as a return to stillness. The mystic does not see this as destruction, but as the inhale of the Beloved, drawing his creation back into himself. What physics calls entropy, Ibn Arabi calls the yearning of creation to return to its source. In the vast book of existence, nothing is dead matter. Everything is inhaling and exhaling the name of God. The trees sway with it, the oceans move to it, even the stars burn according to it. Every vibration in the atom, every frequency of energy, is an echo of that original breath. The Quran speaks of it as be, and it is, But Ibn Arabi reminds us that the word be is not spoken once. It is spoken eternally. Existence is not a command executed in the past, but a word being uttered without end. And every creature, every moment, is a syllable of that divine speech. If you listen deeply enough, you can feel it within yourself. The rhythm of your lungs mirrors the rhythm of the cosmos. Every breath you take is a miniature reflection of the breath of the Merciful. You inhale existence. You exhale surrender. You breathe in separation. You breathe out unity. To awaken to this rhythm is to awaken to your origin, that you are not separate from creation. You are the breath by which it lives. The mystic understands that to breathe consciously is to participate in the act of divine creation, to feel the pulse of the infinite moving through the body of the finite.